Don't you want it? 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 You lose your little mind. 5 dead lives.
Welcome to the Deadlights Podcast. I'm your host, Sam, and this is our guest for the week, Nicole.
Hello.
Also my sister. You've been on the pod before.
Yes, once or twice.
Once
I
or
think
twice. Twice, but never in this season.
No.
Not in this season. You might notice that Leslie isn't here. She's out for the week, so I thought, what better opportunity to bring you in than now?
Yeah. I was excited to get the call.
Yeah.
I was even more excited when I found out what movie it was.
Yeah, so full disclosure for everyone, the movie that Leslie and I picked last week is one of Leslie's favorite movies. So I didn't want to miss her for that one. So we did pull another film from the bucket, and we picked Saw 2 from 2005, directed by Darren Lynn Bousman, written by Darren Lynn Bousman and Lee Winnell. A detective and his team must rescue 8 people trapped in a factory by the twisted serial killer known as Jigsaw.
Sorry.
Yeah, no, I nailed it.
Take it back.
I nailed it.
Jigsaw.
Wow. Jigsaw's back. Now, a couple things about Saw 2 before we get into the review.
Yes.
This is actually the podcast's first sequel. Because we watched the first one in the first season, and then we just happened to pull the second one in season 2.
Oh, this is a special one.
So this is going to be kind of interesting because having seen the first one, there are definitely things that I am going to take into account when thinking about this movie.
Now, full disclosure, I have not seen the first one. I have exclusively seen the second one multiple times. I don't know why, but I liked it every time.
Well, I think that you could still enjoy it, though. You know?
Oh, yes, absolutely.
Right? So,
and you can fill the gaps in for me.
I tried to as best as I could.
Yeah, it wasn't too complicated.
No, it wasn't. So yeah, we are, dealing with a sequel, and it does somewhat continue the story while also making its own contained story, which is a thing about these Saw sequels is every time essentially the main character that we're following is a new person. There are characters that overlap in these movies, but they are usually the periphery characters. They're not typically the actual hero, quote unquote, that we are following for the film.
Right. So the cop was in the first one.
The cop was not in the first one. Donnie Wahlberg.
So who is the reappearing character?
Jigsaw, for sure.
Right.
And Amanda.
Yes.
Who escaped the trap in the first one.
Yeah. So she picked up kind of where that left off.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's interesting.
So there are those story points that kind of go into from the first to the second. But as we already said, it kind of doesn't matter too.
No, really not at all.
It's going to be interesting because I will have that knowledge reviewing it, but you won't have that back knowledge reviewing
good.
it too. So we'll see how that ends up. But let us get into the can, which is our first section.
All right, let's do it.
That's the filmmaking.
I see your note. The first one. We have the same exact. Literally, mine says green.
Yep. Blues and greens everywhere.
And yellows.
And yellows.
But you start off with that gross, disgusting green. It just makes it look nasty and dirty. Like that's the first thing I noticed.
It's something definitely that they carry over from the first one as well.
Yeah.
Part of the aesthetic of all these Saw films definitely comes down to this, like, it feels kind of like grunge music videos at times.
Yes, like 90s.
90s music video.
Got that, 100%.
Exactly.
I feel like the most effects were all in the first 2 seconds. Is like that really fast, that jumping around, the green, the hard cuts, the music, literally everything that he's using as editing is happening in the first 4 seconds, which sets it up. It's very frenetic, it's hectic, you're like, eh. But yeah, it's all contained in that one first scene.
And for sure, something that we talked about in the first episode is the success of some of the traps that we're in are dependent sometimes on these edits because it does put you in the shoes of if you were actually there. It'd be so you'd be so like your brain would be everywhere. It'd feel like things were going fast, but also
like you're going
slowing
crazy, like ugh.
It definitely sets you in the shoes of being in that trap, in that jigsaw puzzle.
And that first guy, he didn't really have any time, and it's all really quick, so it makes you feel like everything has to go really fast. Yeah, I like that they set up that hectic energy within the first. I thought they did a really good job with that.
That is something that I think carries over very well. And I definitely felt like it was, they did this in the first one, this same grungy style, but they just really just amped it up to 11. And I thought maybe at certain points it was like, okay, you got it.
Yeah, when it's a whole hour and a half.
Right.
For sure. But it's very Saw. You look at it, you jump in, say halfway through, you know it's Saw. Just from the look, just from the dirty, like, you already know. I didn't have to see the first one to know that.
No.
So to have like it branded so well, that's impressive.
And you can see other movies that are in this like torture porn style, absolutely.
That was one of my questions when we were watching it.
Take from Saw. Like you could see other movies do this. And it's absolutely one of the like jump starters of the popularity of this torture porn
That's what
style.
we're talking about. I didn't know what genre this was. I guess in my head, slasher because it's graphic. But no, torture porn?
Torture porn, yeah. Because a slasher, I think, would have to be a killer running around actually slashing people. Yeah. Whereas our killer, I never killed anyone.
Oh, that could
I didn't kill anybody.
I just pressed buttons and then they died. Yeah, that guy pissed me off.
So yeah, I don't think Jigsaw is our typical slasher, but definitely it's kind of in its own category with like Hostel.
Final Destination.
We're going to the movies to see people die in insane ways.
And that was such a popular genre. I think Saw really started that in the early 2000s. I don't feel like you see that as much anymore. There's a big pop of that.
It kind of died off.
Yeah.
Because there was that surge. And we see it a lot of times. We see it with this. We see it with found footage movies.
Oh, very true.
We see it with, superhero movies too. Like it's all these fads that come in and people try to jump on the success of that first one.
And I think this one is funny because it's you hate it or you love it. Because there's people that I can't watch any of that. That's disgusting. Or like me, it's so gross that like the pendulum swings on the other way. I'm like, this is clearly so fantasy. And it's in turn not scary to me anymore.
Yes.
So that's why I like it, but I know a lot of people are on the opposite side. So very polarizing niche category.
Definitely more of a roller coaster experience.
Yes.
Rather, we're there for the thrill to be somewhat scared.
Yeah.
And go through something maybe we don't our body doesn't want to go through.
It's not when you walk away and you're like,
it's a fun ride.
At night that you're scared of like a ghost movie to me.
No.
More I thought it was fun watching and reacting together. It's more like a in the moment kind of fun thing.
And something that's inherent in this subgenre that does go within the canon criteria is definitely the practical effects. That's a huge part of what sells the torture pornness because we're looking.
Well, that's all it is.
Rather than cutting away from it, we're staying on it and we're seeing some of these traps play out, and the effects that we got, they were great.
Okay, right. Okay, I thought so too. I was like, what year is this? Like when that guy got hit in the head, I don't remember his name, but with like all the nails and like they held for so many beats on his brain. I'm like, that shit looks good.
He was just like standing there for a second.
Yeah, but the special effects were great. But like that's its own character in this because that's what the entire movie is. There's no jump scare. There's no serial killers or anything like that. That's the scare.
Yeah.
So it has to be top notch, and I think it is.
Oh,
and
it definitely
I think that's
sold.
why Saw is Saw. But yeah, no, I think between the special effects, the lighting, like you just like know what that room smells like. You know how dirty it is. When you saw those needles, like, and even the sound. That's why the needle were so scary to me. Because when she was digging through it, you could hear the sound of all the glass clinking.
The sound immerses you in that world again, just like working together with the super fast cuts.
Right.
and all that kind of stuff. So
And that like fast rock music behind keeps that frenetic feel. So
Mhm.
I thought the sound was not overpowering. There's not like a song that I was like, oh, I know that song in the playlist, but like the feeling of it was always there.
yeah. And then even down to like the production design, like that house. I mean, yes, the lighting and the colors does help, but the actual production line definitely gives this sickly, gross shit everywhere.
Yeah.
Dirty escape room that you don't want to be in.
Yeah, like horrible haunted house that, yeah.
Splinters everywhere.
Ooh.
Also,
Yeah, just the grime, like even the makeup of it. You can see the sweat on them, the blood, the grime on them. Like it really all played up really well.
yeah, and even fucking Jigsaw's lair was pretty cool too. You know, it was like you saw the fucking plants in the background, and he had the dummy set up where it was like, I mean, I'm sure there's Easter eggs in there too of like rigs from the first movie and stuff like that.
You could tell there's some crossovers.
Details in that, which is pretty cool. Yeah, I think that all in all, the actual can really did sell.
Honestly, thumbs up.
Let's get to the meat though.
Yeah.
The meat is actually what we're talking about.
What are we talking about? This is where I had issues.
Yeah, this is where we get to an impasse of these movies because
Can start off strong. Meat is really
so I think very blatantly, this is a movie that's dealing with abuse of powers from the police, because our main character, Donnie Wahlberg, is a police officer, and all the people that are in this house are all connected to him and how he abused his police power.
You were the arresting officer in all their cases, and you were the one who planted all the evidence used to obtain their convictions. You were the one who put them away. The sort of person who guns down an unarmed suspect. That's the sort of person who plants evidence in order to obtain a conviction. The sort of person whose wife leaves him and whose son hates him.
Shut the fuck up!
And then Jigsaw's whole thing was about punishing Donnie Wahlberg because of his horrible past with this police brutality stuff.
and his relationship with the son, which was set up in one scene of Donnie getting pissed off of one thing and automatic, like it was just like a weird setup. Yeah, he had a lot of tantrums. It was really uncomfortable.
Why are you such a cop 24/7? Hey, it's called being a father. Trust me, you're better at being a cop. What did you say? What, can you not hear me? No, I can't hear you. Say it again. I think I should go back to Mom's. Well, then go!
And like, of course, like Jigsaw is like in every movie, his whole thing is like, you don't appreciate life, so I'm gonna put you in a life-threatening situation so you appreciate it, and you're gonna love life afterwards.
Is that so? That's the theme. Like that's the meat.
That's his thing.
That's his theme.
Yeah, and now I guess in this movie he's going after the cops because they're abusing the power that they have with the law. But he's also abusing power over them as
like
well.
everyone's wrong. Like, am I supposed to be like, yeah, you're right? Like, is that what I'm supposed to take away?
This
This
is always the inherent problem with the Jigsaw serial killer, is that he has a hard stance against killing people. And he's like, I don't kill people. People make their own choices.
Yeah.
I've never murdered anyone in my life. The decisions are up to them.
Yeah, well, putting a gun to someone's head and forcing them to pull the trigger is still a murder.
He's a serial killer. No, he's not! He's testing us. He wants us to survive this. But you have to play by the fucking rules!
The jigsaw piece I cut from my subjects was only ever meant to be a symbol that that subject was missing something. A vital piece of the human puzzle, the survival instinct.
Yeah, it got to a point where it's very like God and sinners. There's a lot of devil references too. Like he
He's
was playing
playing-
God
yeah.
and he thinks like these are sinners, so he can punish them, and that's fine. And it was just like, who are you to decide if this is wrong or right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, yes, of course, the police brutality and whatever is wrong. But I don't know, it just felt weird.
Yeah.
It's just like, well, then you should be in there.
Right.
Yeah. It's just...
Yeah, because I'm dying of cancer, so I'm going to die anyway.
And he kept being like, what don't you get about this? I'm like, I don't get it. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
It never just like came around. I was like, I see what you did there. I mean, yes, I guess on the surface level, But when you thought about it, you're like, sir, no.
Well, because that's the whole thing. Is like it's so his like MO is so black and white.
Right.
Of like
Black
there
and
are
white's a good way to put
two
it.
categories. There's no middle ground, and that's just not how the world works.
Those who don't appreciate life do not deserve life.
My son appreciates his life.
But do you appreciate yours? Do you appreciate your son?
And his whole like Donnie Wahlberg's game, his trap, was all you have to do is sit here. All you have to do is sit here and
Good.
listen to me talk,
Right.
and
That
you
was
will
his
get your son back.
lesson.
I want to play a game. The rules are simple. All you have to do is sit here and talk to me. Listen to me. If you do that long enough, then you will find your son in a safe and secure state.
And so I guess like he's pushing against like police being like macho and just like using fists. Like I see that.
Mm-hmm.
But
it also
the
is
wheels
like
really fell off for me on that one.
pretty
Me-
narcissistic of like
yes.
just you have to sit here
Again.
and listen to me talk.
God complex. Like I know I'm controlling.
Mhm.
You're wrong. The wheels fell off for me there.
Yeah, and then they did drive it home at the end when Donnie Wahlberg does ultimately fail,
Right.
and then Jigsaw is left laughing in the car. Like
Yeah.
they really were like,
Yeah.
he was right, which is
Right.
like,
Am I supposed to agree with him?
yeah, they really try to sympathize Jigsaw.
I don't intend to mock you, officer, but I'm a cancer patient. How could you possibly put me in any more pain than I'm already in? Can you imagine what it feels like to have someone sit you down
John Kramer?
and tell you that you're dying?
You use the cancer as an excuse for what you do.
The cancer isn't what started me in my work. It was the moment I decided to end my life that started me in my work. I had literally driven myself to suicide. I was alive. And I was determined to spend the rest of my days testing the fabric of human nature.
I think they were using the suicide thing too for us to sympathize with him. And I
Also
was like,
him being
no.
sick. Because he kept being like,
And
what's the
having
cure for
cancer.
cancer? Like, I'm sick. No. I see it, but you're killing people.
It was a
I
big
don't
win,
know.
big win for Jigsaw at the end, for sure.
Yeah, I guess so.
Which I had issues with.
Yeah,
I
no.
think.
Again, the meat didn't.
Yeah.
Didn't
Well,
do
let's
it.
get to the cook because it is kind of about how they cook this meat. Which there's a couple things that I'm going to take issue with.
All
We
right.
kind of talked about it
Go
already with it. But Donnie Wahlberg and pretty much everyone else in the cast is just overacting the shit out of this thing.
No, you and that guy have a lot in common, Carrie.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. Both like playing games with people.
What could loosely be called your love?
Hey, what the fuck is that? Just give me a phone. Oh, this shit.
The tantrums with these men. That one cop that wanted to go like fist to faces and was like, we're doing it my way. Donnie had his first fit in his office. And then the other guy the entire time. Like, oh my God. That was played out. That like macho aggressive dude was really played out to me.
It was played out, and it was definitely, I think, a combination of overacting, but also the writing wasn't strong because it was very expository in that way.
Well, I looked at you and said, is this bad writing or bad acting? Both.
It is both.
It was both.
Why are you so desperate to get your son back?
Because he's my son.
What's the last thing you said to him before you left him?
I didn't even buy that Donnie, I don't remember his name, Sergeant, that he was that upset about his son. He had like one tear in the beginning. Like, I get that he was angry, but you didn't like, oh, like, I want him to find his son. Like, did you ever get that feeling?
No, because
No,
it
what the
felt,
hell?
It felt more like he was pissed off that Jigsaw like was getting the better
Yes,
of him.
Exactly. It felt very ego.
Mhm.
Not like, oh, I love my son. Should have said more. Should have been. No, that message didn't even come across at all.
Are you kidding me? Not through those like 6 behind the scene pictures did
Oh,
you get their whole
That
relationship?
killed me. That one Photoshop picture of them in a hospital. That
Did not
development,
sell.
no, not at all.
Did not sell.
And
And
the acting,
Yeah.
no, in the writing, they could have done way more in those flashbacks. Weird flashbacks. Very choppy, which makes sense with the rest of the style.
Mhm.
But I think that's where you could slow it down.
Yeah.
Because you don't need to sell that like frenetic energy in that moment.
This works out great for me, though. Your mother gets to keep custody. I get to take you into custody.
What is this, house arrest?
The only thing you people have in common is holding me back.
You need to start thinking outside the box, or his son is gonna end up in one.
Oh, yes. There will be blood.
The script was just zingers.
All
Just
zingers.
like people like, good luck. You're in trouble now. And then like walking out. It was
fuck
just
was
like
that?
there was no depth in the relationships or the words they were speaking.
The most depth, I think the best, most meaty moment of acting that we got was
please
actually.
tell me, because I don't know.
It was the arm touch.
He asked for you.
It's not the first time some psychopath called me out.
All right, what about the fact that I'm asking?
From.
Ew, no, that actually made no sense. There's
I mean,
so much...
it made me think, what's their backstory?
right.
That's
okay.
it. I mean,
you know, I'll give you that.
I was like, oh, what happened
yeah,
there? They
go to
didn't
the
go back to it, which I'm good with because I don't need them. But that does build like there's history going on here through one touch.
Yeah, so one touch in a throwaway scene with throwaway lines was the most we got.
Which that woman character was also a throwaway character as well.
Yeah,
Like
she was like, all the women were very damsel in distress, like
She was-
cowering in a corner.
she was the one cop that was like pushing for like him to just like sit there and talk. Like, don't go the normal abuse of
guess she
power
was
route.
right.
She was right, but then they really just like used her as that.
5 minutes, old school method.
He's not going to respond to the phone book treatment. You know that.
Don't underestimate tried and true method.
It really is saying something when in Saw 2 the moment that sticks out in my mind the most is a hand touch rather than
Murder.
anything other else. Yeah, because as good also as the effects were,
I wanted more.
I wanted way more.
Okay, way more. It was like murder, scene, murder. I just wanted, because if I'm going to see a movie like this, that's all I want. Like, jam pack it. Make them longer. I mean, they were gruesome for sure. They were hard to watch. Like, I really hated the hands in the glass and pulling them out.
That was bad.
But they
Yeah.
panned away very quickly.
Because I think that they had a good idea with this this ticking clock that they set up, which was, all right, these people are in this house and they got 2 hours until the poison that's being pumped into the room kills them all unless they find the antidotes in different games. I like that because I think that that does raise the stakes of like, okay, the closer that we get to the end of the 2 hours, we're all moving towards death. But it was just kind of boring after that. It was a lot of like moving through the hallways, looking through
Great
shit.
example of this. Remember that character Obi?
The fuck is an Obi?
Avi. It's my name.
Inside the device in front of you are 2 antidotes for the poison coursing through your veins. One is my gift to you for helping me kidnap the others.
Cool. Interesting. I want to see how everyone was kidnapped, not just that one girl, but then he died.
Immediately.
It's like you had these bursts, or like I really liked the letters. I liked finding out why everyone was in there.
Greetings and welcome. I trust that you are all wondering where you are. Hello, Bobby. I want to play a game. Hello, Xavier. I want to play a game.
But it stopped after 2.
Yeah.
I'm like, let's keep going. It was like these bursts of really interesting ways to keep this movie moving, but just totally cut off at the knees.
Because they then immediately went into a trap that was okay for the
Right.
most part.
Yes. Yeah. They went into so many rooms that were just fine.
Yeah. Like
Like, how many people died?
I wrote down all the traps actually.
And then you tell me which one you think is the worst. Because this whole movie is a game of would you rather.
Well, I'm trying to figure out which one's the best one.
Well, yes.
Okay, the first one is the death mask. Then we have the eye hole gun.
Oh, yeah. See,
First gun.
I forgot
First
about
kill.
that. Who was that guy?
Just the first kill guy.
It's just dumb.
He was the first kill guy. Then we have the fire coffin with Obi.
Yeah.
Then the pit of needles.
Wasn't even a death.
And then the wrist cutting box, which we then didn't see the end of. She was just left there.
And then
That was it.
And then that one guy died because the other guy killed him, not even Jigsaw.
Right. Yeah, the nail to the head.
And then how did that guy die?
The kid slashed his throat with the
So only how many deaths were by these traps?
1, 2, 3, 4. Well, that wasn't even a death.
Right.
So 4.
Yeah.
Yeah. Out of 8 people, 4 out of 8 died from that.
And it felt like that.
And yeah, it was just like
I don't care that kid killed him. That wasn't cool. It wasn't like heroic. It was like, oh no, he's dead. The one I've been wanting to die the whole time dies like that.
Dies by the kid.
I mean, it was gross that he cut off his skin. So like at least he got a moment to shine.
Which that was another like we spent all this time getting these numbers for what?
You all possess the combination to the safe. Think hard. The numbers are in the back of your mind. The clue to their order can be found over the rainbow.
They didn't even
This
use
movie
that safe.
Was
They
just a
didn't
bunch
open
of
that safe.
dead ends.
He cut off his fucking skin
And then put it in his pocket. Incredible.
Cool move.
I mean, he
For
was
what?
committed. He was committed.
For what?
Nothing.
That
That's why
was-
it's like, anticlimactic.
Yeah, it was
It's like,
just
ooh.
strings in the wind. Just strings in the wind.
Yeah. I think the story could have been really cool if they just kept going.
Pick a lane.
Pick a lane.
Pick a lane.
Like 2 of those concepts just really drive it home. Like I really wanted to find out why all of them were in jail.
Yeah.
That one put together girl that they were like, you weren't in jail. She was like, yeah, I was. Never revisited.
She said,
Doesn't matter.
I mean, it would make things more interesting.
Right. And they truly never revisited.
Yeah. She
Very
just died on the
missed.
ground.
Very missed. Yeah.
Ugh. Okay, well, the next one is The Thrill.
Okay.
Which is the actual scares of this, which we did talk about. This is not necessarily a scary movie. It's definitely a
It's
thriller.
gross.
Gross. But definitely made for us to feel more on the edge of our seat of what we're watching.
Like I
you know?
was eating during it and I was upset at that choice because it was gross. So like
Yes.
it did that.
It definitely did that.
And I think when they did it, it was creative.
Mhm.
Like you could not identify with it, but you could be like, "Oh, burning alive, that's my biggest fear." Or
It's
people with
visceral, yeah.
people with needles, that's my biggest fear.
Yes.
So that was good.
Mhm. And the wrist definitely is that's a hard
Like
one
the
to see.
pulling out. Yeah, they're hard to see. They looked good.
Mm-hmm.
When they hit, they did. There's just not a lot of it.
There wasn't enough of it.
No, not even close.
And then definitely underneath The Thrill, we have to put Jigsaw because he's the villain of this movie.
Yeah, I wasn't scared of him. He just annoyed the shit out of me.
Detective Darwin's theory of evolution.
Survival of the fittest, based on his little trip to the Galapagos, no longer applies on this planet. We have a human race that doesn't have the edge or the will to survive.
The fuck do you want? You're talking, but it means nothing.
He's just the worst.
I like the story of him being in it and like watching along and stuff, but once you unveil the killer or the whatever, it's not scary anymore.
Yeah.
You know, it lost that mystique. Like the guy in the tricycle, who cares? It's a puppet. We all know that. Like
Yeah.
it's just
I wish
like,
it was more puppet.
Yeah.
Less old man, more puppet.
Right. Him just being in it so much. Like I got it for the story and that part was interesting, but he wasn't scary.
It kind of would have been cooler if they somehow did the same setup, but instead of him physically being there,
It was a voice.
it was a voice, or like
Absolutely.
maybe like they could have done a thing where he was in some sort of like enclosure that he designed and it would open after 2 hours, but he is there physically, but we don't see him.
Or like his face is covered, like
Yeah.
something, or that pig mask.
Yeah.
That was scary.
He's somewhat veiled. Or
Yeah.
something.
Once you see him, like the mystique of it is sometimes the scariest part. And it's gone.
Yeah.
And he's an annoying asshole. So
This is
not
true.
only am I not scared, I'm just annoyed.
Like, ugh, like eye rolling at him at this guy.
Oh, you don't kill him. Okay. Ugh.
I've never killed anybody. I only try to kill
So
myself.
that took me out of it. So
Yeah.
no part of it was scary. It's
Yeah.
not a scary movie. I don't think. It's a gross movie.
True. I agree with that.
Which, that's what it's for. That's what it's saw. I get it.
That's what they're trying to sell, for
yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They did that. But scary? No, not so much.
No.
Won't be thinking about it later.
No, me
Not
either.
at all.
Well, I guess that kind of goes into the next topic, which is the ride. And that's the overall, like, how entertaining and fun did we have during this thing? I thought it was kind of a slog at sometimes.
Yeah.
Like when we were like walking through the house and when the detectives were talking to each other, it was just like, just get to the next scene. I don't need to see you guys like feed me information anymore.
And it was just like the guy, that macho guy, it was just the same tropes in different rooms.
Yeah.
It was everyone got in a room. Oh, I don't trust anyone. Okay, move, and you go in the same room. It's the same exact thing happening over and over, and not enough killing.
And not enough killing.
Mm-mm.
Not enough. And then there was a twist.
It's not live.
Carrie, we're in the wrong fucking house. They've been dead this whole fucking time.
I liked that.
I actually do enjoy
I like that twist. I wrote, yeah, good ending.
The twist at the end, I also have always enjoyed.
And not only was he alive, but I like that it was never happening at the same time.
Yes.
That's the twist that I was like, oh shit.
Yes.
I didn't like how they replayed the entire movie again.
It was like
Like,
a
it was-
minute long of us seeing the why.
Because you got it right away. And there's like a flip through montage. Because they had to use that speed through effect one more time.
Is
that the music?
Yeah.
Was it? I don't know. But I was like, yeah, what, for the person in the back who didn't see it or got so bored they wouldn't pee?
Probably,
Right,
actually. They
yeah.
were like, there's going to be
Like,
someone who needs a
This is
recap.
boring. Let's give a
We need to see
recap.
all these great acting moments of Donnie Wahlberg.
That's all it was too. They wouldn't show good scenes.
They show the arm touch again.
I know. Well, at least they showed the best scene again.
Man. Yeah, they did. They did. Yeah, that was honestly
But again,
hilarious.
it was just close. Yeah, it's really weird. Guys, go back to the first 10 minutes.
Yeah, so that wasn't live. And then there was this other secondary twist of, oh, Amanda was in on it the whole time. It's
I like
Jigsaw's
that.
apprentice.
It is I who will carry on John's work after he dies, and you are my first test subject. Now you are locked away. Game over.
I'll fucking kill you! Fucking bitch!
I actually
I do.
didn't see that coming.
Oh, you didn't?
No.
Oh, I thought you'd seen this movie before.
No, the first time.
Oh.
The first time I saw it.
The first time. Yes, because
Yeah.
it wouldn't make any sense for her to be his apprentice at the start because you're like, she's in this again?
Right. You're so distracted by the, geez, she has shitty ass luck.
Jigsaw really hates this girl.
Yeah. Yeah. So I like, again, everything was close. Like, the twist was good. Him being in the safe was good. But then they had a weird, it just kept falling apart over and over again.
Yeah, just
It was
like
very close.
whiffed it. Just
Every time. The entire movie.
yoinks. Well, Saw 2.
Saw 2. Struck out here.
Woo! All right, well, let's get to these Smash Pumpkin ratings.
I don't know, but I still kind of had a good time and I like Saw.
Yeah, I mean, I
So
think
I'm not quite sure what I like about it now after we talk.
after we talk, it does create a new perspective. So, out of 5 Smash Pumpkins, how many do you give it?
Oh, now I'm going back and forth.
Think about it.
Most of these points come from the aesthetic because it's Saw. They branded it super well. Everyone knows Saw, even if you haven't seen it. When you're in that world, you know exactly what to expect. It's gross. It's gritty. Like, you just don't want to be there. It looks horrible. The torture of just being in that room is enough by itself.
Yeah.
So a lot of points do come from that. It kind of looked like a 90s music video. Yeah, 90s music video, which makes sense coming on 2005. Pulling from that, you have to put yourself in the 2005 headspace. So I give it 2.5.
2.5.
2.5. Most of the points coming from the aesthetic, half a point coming from the twist, and that's about it. Everything else in the middle, can't really give a point for.
Yeah, that's fair.
Hmm.
I think it's a fair one.
Yeah.
I absolutely agree.
Okay.
I think I'm going to give it, the point for the can because I think that it, you're right. It delivers on that.
Yeah.
And from the deaths that we did see, they did all look good.
They look good.
They look good.
They still look
I didn't
good
want to be there.
to today's standards.
Sure.
So
Absolutely.
That's impressive.
That's
also what got a point for me.
Yes. So I think though there was so much hard stuff to swallow in the middle.
It's like the
And I
movie. You're
can't-
almost there and then you're drawn back.
Yes, I don't think I can go as far as a 2.5 because that is like right in the middle. I think I have to go a little under it and give it a 2. I'm gonna give it a 2 out of 5. Smash Pumpkins.
Yeah, I think I do agree. I've always liked Saw, so that's why I'm giving the little
It's
edge.
tough.
But like,
Yeah.
I think technically you were right.
Yeah. I think that's a fair. I think we fairly reviewed that.
Yeah,
And
I
we'll
think
meet in the
so.
middle on it.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Wow. Saw 2. Thanks for being there.
Yeah,
Nothing on
absolutely.
it. Let's pick the movie for the
Do I
next
get to pick
time.
it?
You do. Yeah, the
Where
bucket's
is
right
it?
behind you.
This one?
Yeah, that's it.
Oh my
So reach in
God,
there.
there's a shit ton in here.
There's a lot.
Let
So
me get clear some space.
reach in. How we typically like to do it is pick it out and then try to cover the title and then read out the log line first, and then I'll try to guess it, and we'll try to guess it together.
You make me read.
Yeah.
Oh,
Nope.
the cards have spoken.
Okay. Here we go.
A schoolgirl and 6 of her classmates travel to her aunt's country home, which turns out to be haunted.
Uh-oh. House.
You know why I knew that logline? Because it was just in trivia.
It was just in trivia.
I was like,
Yeah.
I learned something from trivia.
There you go.
That's incredible.
Wow. Cool.
All
Nice.
right.
Japanese film.
House, let's do it.
Very cool. Very cool. Well, thank you again. For
Yeah,
being
so much fun.
the
I was
pod.
so excited when it was Saw.
Please plug yourself.
Yeah, you can find me at Coley Photography on Instagram. That's COLEY__photography.
Pretty awesome stuff. We're on there.
Yeah.
We're on there a couple times.
We get spooky with him and Leslie. A lot of black and white portrait photography. So come check us out.
Yeah. And you can find me at BeepBeepRichieT and us at the Deadlights Pod. Also, check out Playground Social, which is the studio that we're recording this at. But until next time, always stay spooky. Ooh, spooky. Don't get yourself in a jigsaw trap.